Hey CCBC, Mike Leonard here with another quick tip for students. Today we'll talk about the Immersive Reader. The Immersive Reader is a newer product from Microsoft, which is built into several of Microsoft's products, such as Word, OneNote, Teams, and Outlook. Today we'll be looking at its use within Microsoft Word. So on your screen, you can see that I have a Word document open, and this is in the online version of Word, so the Office 365 version. If you go to office.com and log in using your CCBC credentials, you'll find that you have access to the web versions of Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook, OneDrive, and many other Microsoft applications. So today I have a document open. We see here that we have a passage from a book, and we want to use the Immersive Reader to help us a little bit with that passage. So I'm going to go to the View tab, and I'm going to click on Immersive Reader. We're going to see that it takes a second to load, and we see our screen changes. Now the text, the screen is a lot less cluttered. We don't have our toolbar. We see the background is a bright white, black letters. The first thing we notice is at the bottom of the screen, we have a play button, and then we have a microphone with a little gear next to it, or a speaker with a gear, I should say. So we'll go ahead and click those voice settings. We can see, obviously, that the Immersive Reader is going to read to us. We notice we can set the pace from slow, represented by a turtle, to fast, represented by a bunny. We can also choose whether we want to make it a male or a female voice. So I'm going to put this at a pace of 1, which I feel is probably a moderate pace. I'll choose to have a female read it to me. I'm going to click off, and I'm going to click the play button. And I feel it's a pretty reasonable pace, but if that pace is a little fast for me, I can go ahead and slow it down. We can play again. So that's our first tip with Immersive Reader is the read aloud. So this is great. If you're a person that likes to read and hear, this is a great opportunity to do that. If you have vision issues and maybe makes reading on a screen difficult, this is another great option for you. Myself, I personally love to listen to it being read as I read, and I feel I retain more. The next spot we want to look is in the upper right corner. We see we have 3 icons. We have the text preferences, which is represented by 2 letter A's. We have the grammar options, looks like a couple lines with a little magic wand, and the book, which is reading preferences. So the first one, we'll take a look at text preferences. So if everyone's eyes are different, everyone sees a little differently. Some people prefer the text really small, some people prefer the text larger. I can adjust the text size by grabbing the slider bar, and in real time, I'm going to see it slide larger or smaller. So I decide I want it fairly large. Also, myself, I feel that I need a little more space in between the lines to break up the text a little bit to make it easier for me to read. I can click line spacing and turn it on. Now you can see that I have much more space in between the lines, and it makes the words, for me, much easier to read. Some may like that, some may not. Again, one of the great things about Immersive Reader is it's really customizable to what you need. Next down, we see font. So we have 3 different kind of fonts it offers. It offers a Calibri font, which is a sans serif font, so there's no little lines on the edge of the letters. We have Sitka, which is a serif font, which it does have little tails on the words. And then Comic Sans, which is a really more handwriting style sans serif font. So you can choose which font is better for your eyes, because everyone, again, looks at a screen differently. So we're going to go with the Comic Sans font. Now we can see it's much more easy to read at this point. We have more space in between the words. And guess what? We can still use the read aloud feature. So remember that feature is always available. In today's time, especially, we learned throughout the pandemic that we're spending much more time on our devices and on our screens. And sometimes that can be hard on the eyes. And research shows that sometimes uh, different contrast or higher contrast backgrounds can help students read better. So we see under the themes, we see we have a multitude of color combinations that we can use. The most common is what we call dark theme, where it's a black background with white letters. This is what we call a high contrast background. So it makes the words really pop out and stand out. This may look good for your eyes, it may not. You can choose from any of the other features. So if I decide that a pink background with black letters works best for me, it is available. Next, we'll go to the grammar options, again represented by the lines with a little wand. So this is a great option. It can be used in a multitude of ways, helping you figure out sentence structure, what words are, how to pronounce them better. So there's a lot of options here. The first one I like at the top is we can break the words into syllables. And if we can all remember back when we were in elementary school, the teacher used to stand up in front of the room and clap. Syllable, syllable. We can also break the words down like that, which helps you learning how to pronounce the words better. So I can go and turn the syllable on. And we can see now that all the words that are multisyllabic have a little dot in between them. So the first word I can see is doing, do-ing, giving, feeding. So it breaks the words down into syllables, which makes it much easier for you to try to pronounce them and learn the meaning of the word. The next part down is, I think, a really cool feature, which is the parts of speech. So we can designate by color or by label the part of speech for each word, and we can turn these on and off. So if I need to know what all the nouns are in this, I can turn the nouns on. So now all the nouns are purple, and I can change that color. If I decide I want them blue, I can make them blue. All the way at the bottom, I can turn on show labels, which will put an N above the word, so I know that that is a noun. Same way I can do verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Again, this will help you better understand the structure of the sentence of the passage you're reading. And like always, it can always be read to you. The last part of the immersive reader is the reading preferences represented by the book. So we'll go ahead and turn that on. We can see the first one is line focus. This goes back to what I was saying earlier about not too much clutter on the screen. If I turn on line focus, I can go down to focus it down by a single line. So we can see now that it blacks out the rest of the screen and only shows you one line of text. I'm going to shut that off for a second. The next one down is the picture dictionary. So this is really cool. So we're going to go ahead and turn the picture dictionary on. And we're going to go pick a word. I'm going to pick the word fish. So I'm going to click on the word fish, and we see that there are pictures of fish below. Also, I can click on the little speaker, and it will pronounce the word to me. People. A pretty cool feature. I can also translate the document. So if English is not your first language, or you're learning another language, this can help you. So I can choose any language I want within the structure here in Microsoft. So if I would decide that I want to have this passage read to me in Cantonese, I can choose Cantonese and click by document. I can see now that it has switched it to Cantonese writing. And again, I can listen to it. Okay, apparently not in Cantonese. Some of the languages are not totally available, so we'll try another one. We'll try Dutch. Again, that's a translate feature. So not all of them will be able to be read to you, but a lot of them are. And we can go through and we can see that they are constantly adding new languages, and there are many languages available. Okay, I'm going to leave the immersive reader by hitting the exit, which is the arrow up in the upper left. I'm going to come right back into Microsoft Word. The last feature that I wanted to show you today, if I go back to the Home tab, is the dictate feature. So If you're like me and have big fingers, sometimes typing at a high rate of speed can be problematic. Microsoft now has a dictate feature. If we go to the dictate, click the arrow, I'm going to click on the dictate button. We'll see down at the bottom now we have a gear, which are dictation settings, our microphone for start dictations, and of course our help. If I click on the gear, we can see that the spoken language is English. The microphone, I want to make sure I'm using a headset, so I'm going to make sure it's on my headset so I get the best possible volume. I can turn auto punctuation on, and I can turn a profanity filter on. So I'm going to click OK. Now I'm going to dictate. So I'm going to click the microphone and I'll speak at a normal rate of speed and as clear as I can. And I'll recite from the passage above. One of the newest figures to emerge on the world stage in recent years is the social entrepreneur. This is usually someone who burns with desire to make a positive social impact on the world, but believes that and I turn the microphone to pause the recording. So we can see that it dictated every word I said, and it is pretty accurate, even inserting punctuation where it feels necessary. We can see the first sentence. One of the newest figures to emerge on the world stage in recent years is the social entrepreneur, period. And I can see that it appears to have dictated that with 100% accuracy. So really, really awesome feature. The other feature on the dictate is transcribe. This is where we could upload a recording. So if you already had a recording of yourself and you wanted to transcribe that for someone, you could do that here. All right, those are my quick tips for today. I hope you learned something. I hope you gained something that you can use to make your time here at CCBC easier and can help you out in your classes.